All right, the fun and games continue. With the laundry room. We have taken out the sink, the washer, and the dryer. We've plugged up the dryer vent, so hopefully we don't get any creepy crawlies coming in. I have capped off my water lines. I hate those little twist-in valves. There is actually no water shut off between here and the main. This thing leaks. I've tightened this down as much as I can. I do have a small leak involved on that. So it's entirely possible we're just going to shut the water off to the house. If we're going to leave for an extended period of time, I would just shut the water off to the house. So now what we're doing is I have roughly and poorly cut a demarcation line. This is about an inch shy of where I want my final line to be. The final line will be midway between this door jamb here. And I have drilled a test hole. And in said test hole we have we have hardwood floors, then we have a vapor barrier, then we have a layer of what I believe to be a leveling compound, and then beneath that it appears to be wood. We're hoping that that's the original wood floors, because if that's the case, underneath the original wood floors will be the original plank subflooring. And if that's the case, then we're in business, because we want to lay tile down in this room and in the tiny bathroom which is adjacent to it. But what I don't want is one of those horrible, really tall transitions where you have to step up a half an inch or 3/4 of an inch or something stupid like that, because you're too lazy to pull the floor up and get down to the subfloor. Off my soapbox, we got to take the cover off of the radiator or the baseboards, and then we got to start pulling baseboard pieces so that they can get the floor up. I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips that I use. I don't know if anybody else on the planet uses these or not, but this is what I do. I have a diagram of the laundry room and the tiny bathroom, and as I pull a piece of baseboard off, that's the first piece in the laundry room, LR1, and then I write down on that piece of molding LR1, so then I can, in theory, get those at least fairly close to the same place that they should be. The other thing that I'm kind of anal about is keeping track of hardware. I have radiator cover screws, and if you see that, that's what goes in there. Now, I have found two different types of radiator cover screws. I found them with flat heads, and I found them with 1/4 inch socket heads, and I put that on there. I have all of this stuff that I pull off. There is the hardware that goes for the closet in the master bedroom. These are the rail screws for the kitchen drawers. These are hinge screws for a hinge that I pulled off of the kitchen door. That's how I keep everything organized and in place. So again, in theory, I can know where everything goes back. So what they've done right here is they have installed a 220 outlet. They moved the laundry room from downstairs in the basement up here, and when they located this, they pushed it right up against this baseboard. So now I'm going to have to loosen this up so that I can get my baseboard out. Or you can deal with it another way. All right, now what we're looking for is we're going to try to figure out where the last piece is that they put in. And I believe it's that piece right there, because it appears to have been nailed in from the top. If that's the case, then this is the row that we want to pull out first. And then hopefully that'll give us some room. Then we'll be able to pull the rest of them out. There's a really good chance that we're gonna tear that row up, pulling it out of there. And then we'll see. If we're nailed and glued, there's a really good chance that none of this is coming out in one piece. But if they just nailed it, if they just toe-nailed it in, then there is a decent chance that we might be able to salvage some of this, which would be great, because then we could maybe use it for use in the kitchen. Well, there we are. And there's what it was held in there with. All right, let's see if we can get the rest of them out. Are they going to come out that easy? Probably not. All right, tiny bathroom update. The wooden floor is up. The vapor barrier is up. Those pipes are capped. We have what is probably going to be a festive occasion happening underneath all that leveling compound there. There's a little more over here. The toilet is out. I imagine another festive occasion happening right around that area. Was able to get the baseboard heat cover off. You can only get that off with the toilet out. You can see somewhat the discoloration, and it was like that throughout the entire bathroom when we took possession, and was unable to get the steam cleaner back behind there. So that's what all of this looked like. So now we have a lot of linoleum, and we have a lot of staples. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull those staples up, hoping I can get this sheet linoleum up in one big roll piece. All right, I have, so I've done some exploring, and I have what appears to be 3 layers of linoleum or linoleum-esque products. In this section that I have pulled up, this 15 or 18 inches or so, I haven't encountered a single seam. Nothing that seems like it's a tile. It all seems to come apart like it's, you know, sheet goods like linoleum. So the plan is we're just going to pull it all up, and it looks like it's going to be a pain in the you know what, but we'll get it down to the subfloor, and then we will proceed from there. So there you go. All right, there's been a little bit of work in here. If you're pulling up stuff like this, get one of these. I found mine at a flea market, and it's just got a flat head. You use it to chop ice with, but you can also use it to peel up linoleum. I have 3 different kinds of linoleum here. I have this sheet linoleum here. I have this extremely thin and flexible sheet linoleum there. Or that's a tiled linoleum. It's like super thin. And then I have this big rolled sheet linoleum here. It isn't extremely hard to get up. I don't know if it's all this easy to get up or not. I just know that this particular variety is. And remember, always wear your personal protective equipment. Your safety is your responsibility, not anyone else's. The flooring debacle continues. This is, I don't want to say it's rotted out, but it's been wet and it's separated. This has been wet, and that has got a fairly significant dip. We're about to get the 3rd and final layer of linoleum off of there. All right, we're back on the floor in the laundry room. I have it turned out to be the middle layer was actually tiles, pretty thin tiles. So, but anyways, we're down to this bottom layer, which isn't as much as a linoleum that I know it as. It's more like an asphalt type of paper product. And it's, I wouldn't say uncooperative, but it's certainly not cooperative. So I'm going to show you the 2 things, the 2-part process that I've kind of come up with that helps me get this up. So the first tool that I'm using is this, it's a rigid scraper blade that goes onto my little multi-tool. And it doesn't have a sharp edge on it, and it's just for getting underneath that adhesive and kind of lifting it up. Then the second tool that I use is, well, it's an ice chopper. That's what I've always known it as, and that's what I've always used it as. But then once I get this edge lifted up, I can get some removal going on. as necessary. And here we are, the laundry room and the bathroom, which I apparently have made a career out of. Done and dusted, as they would say. And this is exactly why we pull things to see what's underneath them and don't cover them up. This is a little spongy. It might actually be okay. We'll see. Whether or not we have to, we'll go look at it from the bottom. We'll poke around a little bit on the top, and if it dry, give it a couple, 3-4 days, let it dry out. If it looks okay and it feels okay when you stand on it, then it'll be okay. The floor up here, we're not that lucky with, because this here probably shouldn't do that. It should have a little more integrity than that. And it looks as if it's been replaced once before. So we'll probably at least pull these 2 planks, maybe this 3rd and 4th plank here, and just cut that whole section out and replace it with new plywood. And then we'll be done. And we may, since we're there, look and see how much wire on the electricity we got there, and see if we can't maybe move that up off the floor and put that up here where it has a less chance of getting el wetto. I don't even know if this is going to show up or not, but I'll try. We'll give it a shot. There is, so this may be not doom and gloom, but not really fantastical news. This vanity is sitting on 3 full layers of linoleum, which makes us think this may not be original, and if this is not original, then Mrs. Rattlecan does not want to keep it, which means I get to do more work in here than I was planning on. So there's that. Anyways, so other than vacuuming to get all the little nitnoids out of the corners, I think we've done okay. It took me forever to do it, but we're done. Well, we're done pulling the floor off anyways. So there you go. Hey, you guys have a great one. Cheers.
If you enjoyed watching this episode of Mrs. Rattlecan's House, consider checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and to get the latest updates on our progress, like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Perhaps we should have some wine.